Based on that, Sri Lanka underwent a 3-decade civil war which ended in 2009. Since then, Sri Lankan government focused on national reconciliation for further development. Though Sri Lanka received an immense economic growth compared to the past years, establishment of peace and security among the ethnic identities became a major challenge in this era. The recent actions taken up by the government to implement constitutional rights as well as singing the national anthem in both Sinhala and Tamil national languages made controversies among the citizens. These recent events took our interest to conduct this research. Qualitative methodology was used for the study, and more information in this regard were derived from secondary sources such as journals, books, and research articles. Firstly, I would like to take you to the history of Sri Lanka's ethnic struggle. With the recommendation of Colebrook Commission in 1833, Sri Lankans struggled to get representation in the legislature because at that time unofficial members of the legislative committee were selected on a communal basis, and later it brought detrimental results to the future of the country. And when Sinhala Only Act was implemented in 1956, not only it resulted in politicization of language-based ethnic identity, but also it resulted discrimination against the minority communities. The effect of these policies made a drastic drop of Tamil representation in the public sector. Subsequently, in 1970, suppressed groups started emerging as Tamil youth militant groups. Small groups such as EPDP, Plot, Eros, LTT, and Tello started rebelling against the government for their rights. Assassination of Alfred Durayappa, who was a former mayor in Jaffna in 1975, 1983 Black July, attacking Pata bus stand, and assassination of former cabinet minister Ranjan Weeraratne and Prime Minister Gandhi were some of the unfortunate events that occurred in the end half of the 20th century. When talking about the challenges in the reconciliation process, even after the suffering the entire country has gone through, the question of identity and belonging still remains the same. Building hearts and minds of the citizens is a crucial factor as well as a major challenge in the post-war reconciliation process. As the victory gained is a military victory, fixing the minds of the defeated people, defeated party, is not an easy task to be done. Moreover, the previous regime mostly focused on the development of the economy of the country. Therefore, lack of attention has been paid on the reconciliation. Even the recommendations of the LLRC report lacks in implementation and allocation of its resources. Out of 189 recommendations made in the LLRC report, only 19 recommendations were fully implemented, with 59 recommendations being partially in progress and 95 recommendations making poor progress. Next, educational and economic sides of the wounded parties have not improved up to an expected level. Due to the shortage of employment opportunities, most of them suffer economically. In the aspect of education, some schools of those areas do not have even proper instructors to teach the school children, as well as facilities like classroom equipments and lab facilities are not sufficiently provided. Distribution of lands to the internally displaced persons also another obstacle faced by the government at present, because the military installations has to be removed at first, and that task should be done without causing any threat to the security of the country. Also, ensuring the returning of evicted Muslims by the LTT at the war period is a matter of immediate concern. Also, as the slide provides, sexual and gender-based violence and discrimination against caste Rights of workers, including those who work in the tea estates, are issues still need to be addressed. Moving on to the next point, the issue has attracted the international community as well because of the said human rights violations. Sri Lanka cannot lose the image that she maintained throughout the years. Therefore, government has to accept the assistance provided by the international community without damaging to its national integrity. Nextly, if more efforts could be invested on the development of the mindset of the people, the true sense of reconciliation could be achieved. Establishment of Office for Missing Persons is a recent step taken by the government. Although hundreds of families since the end of the war and even much before have been demanding to know what has become of ones who has disappeared, information is not only the thing that they are seeking. What they want is justice to be meted out wherever possible so that perpetrators are punished and so that such incidents do not take place again. The LLRC recommendations, which came about through an internal process initiated by the government, is the most effective tool available to the government to respond to any proposed external mechanism. Those recommendations are more reliable, suitable, and satisfactory since they are homegrown. Also, upliftment of education will effectively address the misunderstanding among communities to a national integration. The younger generation must be taught about their fearless ancestors as well as mistakes done by them and their consequences. Educating the minds of the people is the best way to reconcile. If more development programs in the war-affected zones imposed to cover up the basic needs of those war-affected people, those people could live without any discrimination or discrepancies, and sudden future commotions would not be occurred. The government should consider a strong and less visible military presence in order to feel the citizens of war-affected areas that they are trusted and that they are treated same as the people of South. It is important in the case of building up the mentality of the people of North and in return gaining their trust as well. Also, making military as a reliable friend and increasing the cooperation between military and civilians is another way to reconciliation. Finally, it is the government who has to take steps to implement more strict policies which should be practically applicable to the situation. And those policies have to effectively address the issues in the reconciliation process. Government should not allow another Black July to be happened. And also, the government has to moderate any hostile groups that creates disunity among the citizens or among the ethnic communities. And the government should eliminate the minds of the people and clear the misunderstanding among the communities. Though it would not be an easy task to be done, it is not an impossible task. And most importantly, it is the duty of the citizens to be conscious of the importance of the national integration and to think that all are equal. They should accept themselves while accepting the other. In that way, true reconciliation could be achieved. That brings me to the end of the presentation, and I'd like to conclude my presentation quoting Nelson Mandela. The message of reconciliation, of nation building, of granting amnesty, indemnity has struck a powerful, favorable chord, and people can understand that we are here not for the purposes of retribution, but to forget the past and to build our country. Thank you.